Okay, hello everyone. I'm recording this video on June 11th, 2025. It will come out this weekend. I wanted to dispel an economic myth that drives me crazy, which is that OnlyFans is this big money-making machine for young women. It is not. The New York Post, in particular, as well as other magazines, but New York Post likes to do it a lot, runs all these crazy articles, and you have some really hot girl in a skimpy outfit, and she said, "I made $49,000, selling my navel lint or something like that." And for some reason, everybody believes this is true. Um, I will throw out first the idea that it is possible that adult content creators might not be completely honest with you about their earnings. None of these stories that come out from the New York Post or others are actually verified with financial documents. Well, maybe a few of them are, but a lot of them are not. I am a divorce lawyer. I will tell you, in my practice, had several cases where we had women who did OnlyFans. In my experience, they made well below minimum wage. They would have made far more money flipping burgers at McDonald's at minimum wage. Honestly, a job at a gas station pays better, gives paid time off, has some benefits. It's far better. I've probably, I don't know, maybe had a dozen cases, something like that, and I have yet to see one who made anything even approaching meaningful money. And when I mean meaningful, I'm not talking big money. I'm talking like enough to pay the rent on. Enough to make a car payment on. Mostly what I saw was you do it for a couple of months and you've got maybe 50 bucks, a couple $100, something like that. And by the way, the videos of whatever they have done will be out on the internet forever. um, yeah, and if you don't think the men are recording those, you're kidding yourself. But let's get to some data here. According to Variety, they did an article. The average OnlyFans creator earns $108 per month. That's about $1,300 per year. Minimum wage right now in the state of Florida is a little over $2,200 per month. So an OnlyFans creator on average is earning $1 for every $22 that a minimum wage worker earns here in the state of Florida. So again, I would submit to you this is not a good financial decision. But let's go a touch deeper. The top 1% does earn about $49,000 a year on average. And again, I want to note that word average. That's the whole 1% combined. And that number, even that is misleading because the top 1/10 of 1% earns several times that. So basically, when you get into these numbers, what you're seeing is that 99% of the creators earn nothing. They would be better off flipping burgers or working at a gas station. I mean, I'm talking minimum wage, even if it was just part-time shift work. They would make more money doing that than they will doing OnlyFans, and they get to keep the clothes on, which is a nice bonus. Um, so the tiny percentage that does make money, there are some who apparently do make quite a bit of money. I've talked to some other attorneys who've said they have had a client or two who did make fairly good money in the single digit thousands per month, which is not bad. But here's the catch to that. What I learned from them was that that holds true for a few months. 3 months, 6 months, something like that, and then the money starts to tail off because you were the hot new thing. Well, you're not the hot new thing anymore. There's some other girl who's the hot new thing now. There is one girl whose name is escaping me right now, but she has told everyone she made $67 million in 3 years and then retired. So according to her, after earning over $20 million a year, almost $2 million a month, she retired. If you believe that, good luck. Um, I do not. Now I cannot prove it. I do not. I cannot offer you incontrovertible evidence that she is lying, but I find it highly unlikely. Again, I am sure there are some women out there who have made some good money doing this. Uh, they're probably very young, and that money probably did not last very long. And what they did will stay with them forever. So I would consider that. But the point of all this is that when you see the articles talking about all the money the OnlyFans girls are making, one, in my opinion, a lot of them are just lies. Two, even the ones that are truthful badly mislead young women into thinking this is easy money. If you are a young woman and you decide to go set up OnlyFans, there's a 99% chance you will make nothing. You will make nothing of any real meaningful value out of it. If you get into that top 1%, you might make something for a short period of time. If you become one of the top like 5 or 10 stars out there, you probably will make quite a bit of money. You probably will do very well for a while, and then it will be over. So, little doubt on that. But here's the other thing. Part of this is the idea of the glamorous porn star life: money, travel, vacations. It's got to be so awesome, and all you got to do is take your clothes off. Isn't that What could possibly be easier than that? Well, let me run through some examples of some adult film stars who have died over the last few years. First off, Yurazan Beltran. She died at age 31, drug overdose. Here, we got another one coming up here. Thana Fields. She died in January of 2024. She made allegations that there was abuse going on in the adult film industry, and she turned up dead. Cause of death unknown. Let's see here. Who we got next? Next up is Sophia Leone. She died in March of 24. She was aged 26. Cause of death unknown. Okay, next up we have Cagney Lynn Carter. Died February 24, age 36. Shot herself in the mouth with a shotgun. Hold on, I've got a few more here. Let me go to the prior page. All right. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. Bringing it up now. Here we go. Come on, scroll, scroll, scroll. I'm sorry, I know it's taking a bit. All right, Jesse Jane died January of 24, age 43, fentanyl and cocaine overdose. Here comes another one here. Sophie Anderson died November of 23, age 36. Her boyfriend died 2 weeks earlier. Died of a drug overdose, a party drug of some sort. Raven Alexis died March of 22. She had an infection from Crohn's disease. She was 35. That probably seems like a legitimate, just natural causes kind of a thing. Dakota Sky, June 21, age 27. Cocktail of drug overdose with fentanyl. So I could keep going. There are several more of these, but I think you get the idea. The reason I am putting this one out is, as you know, I like to interject facts into things, and one of the things that bothers me is we have a lot of mainstream media painting sex work as this very, very wonderful thing for young women where they make all this easy money. They are killing themselves. They make very little money. They're rife. You may notice there's a theme in the deaths, a lot of drugs. It's not true. It's not this glamorous lifestyle. You don't make tons of money. A very small, vanishingly small number do. The vast, vast majority do not. By the way, every stripper will tell you that they never make less than $1,500. That is not true. I've done stripper divorces. They do not make $1,500 every night. That's false. I mean, it's just freaking false. And by the way, that includes ones in larger cities than where I live. I know that because I had one who she worked in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. And she did at times make $1,500 or even $2,000 a night. That was very rare though. Most times she made a few $100 a night. And after some of the stories she told me, that is not something I would want to do. Just to be clear, if anyone says, are you a hypocrite? Have you ever watched porn? Honestly, yes, I have. I have been to a strip club. If you want to call me a hypocrite, go ahead. But I wanted to put out, and you'd be right to do so, by the way. But I wanted to put out some facts and some figures because if someone is talking to you about it and they're thinking, wow, man, I'd make all this money, it'd be so easy. Please tell them that there's a 99% chance they're going to make peanuts. And if they go into the adult film industry, a lot of those young women end up dead at very early ages. It's a lot like pro wrestling for men. I was a big pro wrestling fan when I was a kid. And a lot of the guys I used to watch, they're dead and they're 38, 39, 42. That's not an accident when that keeps happening over and over again. So either way, I know this is a little bit macabre, a little bit dark, but I do hope some people will listen and maybe this will convince some young woman not to do this, because I will tell you in my experience, it's going to cause you a lot of problems and not give you much money for it. All right, that's it. I hope everyone's having a good day, and hopefully the next video will be on a little bit happier topic. All right, bye-bye.